Did you hear the pizza place is moving?
What pizza place?
Nino's.
Moving where?
He's moving the location from the corner. I'm telling you, I heard this. I heard it.
This is breaking news.
I heard
breaking
this from
news.
the grapevine.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 2 of the Residential Remix podcast. I'm Dennis Straker.
Derek in Fiesta.
We are back again. And you know what? After episode 1, I think we learned a lot. Number 1, you said we need more energy. We need more energy.
I don't know. I think it was the first one. I was trying to take it easy a little bit. I was also feeling sick.
This is true.
I was sick for last week. Fisher killed us when we went to Dare. I felt like I just dipped in a hole.
Rub it in once again.
Yeah, Fisher was amazing. But yeah, I got sick pretty bad after that show, and I just felt nasally. I feel like I still sound nasally.
No, you sound good.
I feel a lot better. And the energy's here.
We're 10% more energy.
I also just had an espresso, so I'm in.
Oh, well, there it is. There it is. But either way, I mean, look, we're back for episode 2. We watched episode 1. I went through the editing process myself, looked at everything, and I kind of picked out what I thought was the best things about it. And then being the overcritical self that I am, I picked out the worst parts too.
I need the audience to understand that not only are we producing this, we are editing it. We're doing everything, and we're DJs. Right. We are not.
No.
We are not broadcasters by any means. So this is as amazing as it's going to get for right now.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean,
it's only going to get better from here.
We
can only get better.
It's only going to.
Our first time DJing in public was not great. I remember mine. It was horrible.
I used to get blotchy. I used to get so nervous prior to announcements, just before the wedding party or just before you get to a nightclub. I would be like blotchy red, shaking, ready to play my first track. You know, same thing. And then, now we're just like, whatever.
Of course.
Show up.
When it comes to nightclubs, I was always more comfortable being the opening DJ. Because you get there, you set up, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to play anyways, and nobody's there. So you get 15, 20 tracks through, and it builds up in I was fine doing that. But weddings, you're right. Getting that microphone in front of you, having to make sure that you can say these names just right.
Just right. Oh, I actually, one time I had a Indian Chinese wedding, and I looked at the names, and I tried to record the names prior.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got this. I'm going to pre-record this. They're going to sound professional. I was like, yeah, no. I ended up grabbing a guest.
Okay.
And saying, hey, you're friends of the family? She goes, yeah, I'm the sister.
Perfect.
You're not in the wedding party? No. Do you mind making some announcements? Can I hear you talk? And she literally did the announcements, and it was perfect because she knew everyone personally. They grew up together, so she announced all the names, and it was perfect. So sometimes you have to improvise.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to improvise.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to improvise. I've got an iPad set up over here with some tips and things that we're going to go over, but at the end of the day, we just may talk. We may see where the conversation goes, and while what I like to think we're going to format episode 2 as and talk about, it's probably not going to happen. Let's be real. It's not going to happen. Let's just
go sideways in everything. We just start veering to the right or left. We're going to try to stay on track a little bit.
We're going to try.
But
either way, we're going to keep the energy up here.
We're going to stay here.
We're going to be here.
We're going to be here, guys. I promise. You guys keep going. Let's keep watching.
In today's episode, I think what we're really going to dial in today, our topic is going to be the biggest misconception of our industries. And, I think when people start talking about real estate and you look at the side of the realtor, you look at the side of the mortgage broker, I think anybody who's been through the process is going to have their opinion of both sides of the field.
Of course. I mean, the biggest thing you hear about realtors is, what do you guys really do? Because, again, when I started this industry, I was like, what am I paying you? When you're going to open a door for me? I mean, come on. Tell me a little bit about the process and tell me a little about, what you actually do.
I got into this business to look at beautiful houses and help people at the same time, but that is not all that we do. The biggest misconception about the real estate industry and about realtors specifically is that we just show up, we unlock the door, we walk people through the house, we memorize the square footage.
Here's the kitchen. Yeah, here's the bathroom.
I know. And then and then we lock the door, we walk out, and we type up some paperwork to send over. And there's so much more that happens behind the scenes that I think if the typical person saw all of the time we spent working with clients, they would realize that, hey, maybe there is a lot more than there is to the average eye. Specifically, contracts and negotiations are huge. showing the houses, finding the right house is only half the battle. At the end of the day, we still have to fight and negotiate to get you the best deal on the house, because we have, and I'm going to use a big word, but we have a fiduciary duty to our clients to represent you 100% and get you the best deal for the house. With that being said, everything that we have to do behind the scenes, as far as making sure the inspection gets set up, looking at the inspection report and knowing enough to look at that report and say, okay, well, a leaking faucet may not be the biggest thing.
Okay.
It may cost you $25, $50 to repair.
I will tell you, not to cut you off, but the amount of times I get through a file and we process, and all of a sudden at the end, they're like, oh my gosh, I just noticed that, I don't know, there's termites, or there's something wrong with that report. Yeah. Like, how did you, there's stains on the roof. Like, they've never, dove into that inspection. So you dive into the inspection, you're actually looking at it as a realtor. I know a lot of people don't.
That's true.
But I just want to be, that's a big part.
It's a huge part, but that's also why I have trusted inspection companies that I work with that I'm going to recommend, because I know they're going to come in and they're going to specifically point out, hey, Dennis, these are the big things that we saw. They're going to point these out to the buyers. They're going to point them out to me. And we're going to read each one of those things. If I have to call a specific contractor, like a roofing company or a termite company, to come in and look at the whole scope of work and figure out, okay, yes, there's termite damage. It's isolated to one area. You can catch it now and treat it and be fine. Those are the connections, and that is where my value comes into place, because I am looking at those inspection reports. It's being pointed out up front, and then we can tackle it and decide if we're going to move forward.
Right.
If the house
now, we're talking about on the buyer side.
Right.
We're talking about the buyer side. Now, not the same thing goes on the seller side, because now when you're selling a home, you're actually doing the inspection. Do you order inspections prior to selling a home? Like, where are you when you do that?
If the house was built between 2020 and now, I'm probably not going to order a pre-listing inspection. I have to assume, unless I see something that looks crazy, that the house is going to be in pretty good condition. Now, if the house was built in 1974, it looks like that maybe somebody's cousin did some of the renovations, then I might question some things and we'll get a pre-inspection.
I mean, there is a document as an owner that I fill out, because I did it when I sold my house. And I did it with you. And we fill out kind of, what do you know is kind of wrong with the house, or what is known? What is that document
It's called the seller's property disclosure, and it's number one, it's required for most realtors' files. Like, I have to, when I submit my file for approval at the end of the transaction, I have to have that uploaded. And it is the responsibility of the seller to disclose anything that they know. I mean, they may not know if there are foundation issues.
Right.
That's just part of owning a home. But if you as a seller know that you had a leak in the bathroom 10 years ago and had mold remediation done, or, your cousin down, your friend down the street came and renovated the bathroom.
And we're hoping that gets disclosed.
Right. We have to hope. And again, at the same time, if the seller tells me something like that, it is my responsibility to tell everybody that as well. I can't hide that, because then now I have all of that can fall on my shoulders.
Okay. A lot of responsibility. That's a lot of, and I think that makes the difference between a great realtor, right? Is taking responsibility for that kind of stuff, asking the pertinent questions, and making sure that the sellers and buyers and everyone's comfortable with the transaction on both sides when you're looking for homes to buy or you're actually listing a property. And I just think that's what amplifies you as a realtor and sets you apart from your competition.
It does, but the most important part of all of that, there has to be a system in place. I mean, when you get a new client that comes in and wants to get pre-approved, you have a system that you put them through to make sure all the boxes get checked, right? I mean, what's that process look like?
So my process always starts with income. My priority is, do you have enough money? Do you qualify? Do you need a co-signer? Income is number one, because if you can't afford the home and you don't qualify for the home financially, there's no reason for me to pull your credit.
There's no credit score that's going to make up for $50,000 in missing income.
Correct. Because if we go down to 500 on FHA, you put a little more money down, but we can go down to 500. So the options are out there when it comes to credit. I can get you qualified based on credit in any kind of section, because FHA.
There are people that make $200,000 and maybe they have a lower credit score because of some things that happened in the past.
You know what my biggest enemy is? Credit karma. Credit Karma, boy, if I get another phone call.
I got an 850 on
that
Credit
said,
Karma,
what?
man.
I got an 850, 750 right now on Credit Karma. I'm like, yeah, really? Okay, hard pull, boom, it's 680. Credit Karma is a guideline, guys. It is not 100%. So Credit Karma is a ballpark. It is just a roundabout figure where you're at, mostly on revolving debt.
Yeah.
Not credit. Just like when you buy a car, it's a little different. Mortgage, a little different. Everything has its own little section and how we pool and the system we pool. Yep. Everyone uses a different credit pooling system. So it is imperative to have a great credit score, but it's not the first priority for me.
Okay.
So your income documents, how you qualify, if you're self-employed, if you're W-2, this is pertinent information required for each. First, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, tell me a little about yourself. Tell me what you do for a living. You want to make it as friendly as possible, you know, because at the end of the day, I want to know about you. I want to know about your family. If you have an aunt, uncle, or cousin that can co-sign for you, we need to make sure what is your financial situation. So step 1 is going to be your income. Step 2 is credit. Again, we can go all the way down to a 500 credit score. Step 3 is your equity position. How much money you're going to put down.
Yeah.
So I know if you're going to put 3.5% down, 5% down, you can put down as much as you want. You know.
And while we're on this topic, really quick, what is the minimum amount down for FHA?
3.5.
3.5. And what about for a conventional loan?
3%. First-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers.
Now, to prove that your first time you've been renting last 3 years.
There it is.
I can't own a home. If you have to be an actual first-time home buyer.
Right.
5% would be your next step for conventional.
And I know it's been talked about to death, so we're not going to go into it. But you know, I think the big topic of conversation for a lot of podcasts when you start talking about real estate is the minimum amount down for loans. For a long time, everybody was posting something about, you don't actually have to put 20% down for a loan. And it just, I think it got beat to death. I don't think anybody in today's market believes that you actually have to put 20% down. So I think we can glaze over that. We talked about minimums now. Save this podcast, memorize it for the future. You don't have to put 20% down for a loan. There are other options to go lower.
Correct.
So FHA is 3.5%.
Yep.
The conventional mortgage on a first-time home buyer is
3%.
3% again. And then if it's not your first time, you're looking at
5.
Great. All right. So now we have how much are you putting down? We have your credit. We have your income. What comes next?
So basically the last step of my process after qualifying a client and looking at their income, looking at their credit, and looking at the equity position that client is in, at that point, we qualify the client and give you a pre-approval based on those 3 criteria.
Cool. And that's when the fun starts, right? We get to start shopping, looking at pretty houses and going from there. But I think, what would you say is the biggest misconception of your industry is now that all of that process, because that sounds pretty smooth, but it also sounds like a lot of work. I mean,
I think people think the magic happens. They find a home and with you, they give us some paperwork and they think they're that's it. We're done.
Yeah. Give me the keys.
Give me the keys. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't close next week? You know, I don't think they understand the back of the process and what we have to do.
Yeah.
Some things are just verification of employment. I've had clients have 4 jobs in the last year.
Yeah.
And we have to do a verification of employment from each job. That's calling each individual job, each individual HR company.
Yep.
Our processing team is amazing. We have several people doing this job for us. So you won't catch me essentially calling.
You're not making each one of those calls.
I'm not making these calls.
Okay.
We have a team for this. As much as I would love to, my job is to find more business, right?
Yeah.
My job is to increase revenue for the branch. We have a team for this, which makes our company extremely efficient, and we're great at it. Our underwriters are amazing, as well as our processing staff.
At the end of the day, the underwriters are who actually pushes the file to the approval process, right? I mean, they're the ones that at the end of the day, I don't think there's an actual stamp, but they're the ones that actually put the stamp on the final approval and say,
they're going to give you a clear to close, which is those
house.
magic words that you want to know, right? Those clear to close. But our processing team is the backbone of our company because they're the ones who are doing the work. They're verifying your pay stubs, verifying taxes, ordering transcripts. They are literally the backbone of your approval process. And depending on each individual situation is how much work they're doing. And sometimes they do get behind because we clog up your pipeline with files that are messy.
Yeah.
And we have messy files. And
Those are my
sometimes you
favorite.
have those messy files and you're just praying they close. And we're, again, very fortunate to have a great team. And that's literally my value is my team and our structure.
Absolutely. But at the same time, too, it's the pre-qualification that you do before it even gets to the underwriter's desk or that team sees any file. You're making sure that you're not wasting their time and that you're not wasting their client's time. I mean, if the client doesn't have it, they don't have it. And you just got to be upfront with them.
And that's the toughest part, to say no, because we all, again, the more yeses I get, the more money we make, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But there is a process of no. And then those clients, unfortunately, sometimes go to 10 different banks and 10 different lenders, and they try to get things accomplished they just can't do. And that's how you lose your deposit. That's how you lose money. That's right. And hopefully you had a great realtor that didn't allow that. But I see it all the time. I've had files come 3 or 4 times back around to me. Hey, we want to take a look at this file. Yeah, I denied that 3 months ago. No,
absolutely. But it's you mentioned deposits, and that's why having everybody on the same page and realtors having lenders that they know, like, and trust, lenders having agents that they know, like, and trust that can work together for the betterment of the client. At the end of the day, it's all about getting this buyer the best deal in the beautiful house.
We're just trying to get across the finish line.
That's it. We're
just trying to get across the finish line. Where are you at right now in music? Because a lot of new heat came out this week. I
will be 1,000% honest. It has been probably a month since I downloaded any new music. Wow. Even in the gym, I'm listening to mixtapes that
Fit Radio.
Yeah, I'm listening to older stuff though, but I'm nothing
This
new.
is not a promotion for Fit Radio.
We're not getting paid a penny.
We're not getting paid for
but also we're looking for sponsors. So Fit Radio, if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, we're your guys.
Fit Radio has been amazing for me. Some of the best DJs around are on there, and you get to hear what other people are playing, and I think that's the biggest downfall in DJs. You don't get out as much. I don't get out as much, and when I do, I go out in West Palm. We go downtown. We go see Lewis over at Banco. We're hanging out, just having a good time with with a couple of our close friends. Always look and see who's playing and who can we hang out with, right? But it's hard because I don't go out to clubs in Miami. I don't go out to clubs in Fort Lauderdale. I feel like the dinosaur every time I walk in there. But yeah, we also play at the biggest venues in Fort Lauderdale.
True.
So we do want to be relative. You want to, and again, I always think, Alex for always DJing with us. I almost bring Alex purposely because at the end of the day, he is out. He is in those crowds.
He was just over in Ibiza. He was in Amsterdam.
Alex had a whole month. Alex, I'm going to talk to you again about this podcast. This is the second time we always bring Alex up because he's my other half when it comes to DJing. So, but when we play, it's awesome to have him because he's out there traveling and doing that stuff. When I play, I like to play the sing-along still. I don't care where I'm at. Even when you see my recordings that come out, when we bring our camera crews with us, it's all vocal. It is all sing-alongs. I want the crowd to enjoy their night and say, man, I'm hoarse because I was singing every song.
Absolutely.
I love tech house. Love me some tech house. Love me some tech house. But not every tech house is not like that. Usually it's just the boom, 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 boom. It's just beat. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to enjoy. You really have to love the DJ, I think, to enjoy a good tech house set.
Well, and there are so many new remixes now that they're sampling these older songs that we know, that we've listened to and we've sang for years. Your house track of the week.
My house track of the week, Salt and Pepper, Push It.
Oh my God.
Is I drop that at every wedding. I don't care. A private event, wedding, we are dropping.
Yes.
You got to do it. You got to do it. So Beltran and Universe just came out with a Still Pushin'. And it is amazing because they still leave so much of the original track, but it is a tech house monster.
It's a banger.
I love this track.
It is.
I love this track.
It's got the elements of the original that everybody, you can just hear that.
You can sing it.
And it still brings that in, but then you've got like that techie vibe that I think you and I both, if we can listen to music that we want to listen to or play music we want to play, it's going to be that vibe. And
that is my track right now. And Todd Gray just came out with an amazing track, Jagged Edge. Get married.
I have always thought that he never got the recognition he deserved as a producer, and he's a phenomenal DJ. He's held one of probably the longest residencies at one of the biggest nightclubs in Miami. We're talking about 11.
I love me some Todd Gray.
And
Todd Gray's opened up for all of us, and any DJ listening to this broadcast in Palm Beach County, you have played Todd Gray's opening mixes for years on end.
Yep.
I remember I was DJing downtown, and I walked into 3 different venues because I had or everyone was playing mixtapes, or we'd all meet up somewhere, take a quick shot. What are you guys playing right now? Todd Gray. Duh. And we would run back. Those were amazing days. Todd, he's a beast. He has an amazing remix right now. He just emailed it to me. I love it, and it's definitely going to be on my playlist. It is an amazing track.
Let this be a PSA for all the DJs out there. If you are still playing the Perfect Opener 2012, stop. Delete it from your library, or only use it at maybe corporate events. While it is the absolute perfect opener, it's 2024. Stop playing it. Everybody knows it. I think you and I could play that set from start to finish if we needed to.
I know it from start to finish. I still have from start to finish.
Just stop. But also, thank you, Todd, for supporting us for years.
In the years.
Let's talk about the event we just had this weekend. We had a great gala that I think went off without a hitch. I mean, I think we killed it.
So Bad Lighting Company showed up.
Hey.
Bad Lighting Company showed up. We did a gala, and they did an auction, and it was amazing. Now, the client called me and said, I wanted to look like this. And it was an amazing picture, this beautiful centerpiece that had this underwater feel. But I had to put it in perspective to them. This room is completely piped and draped.
Yeah.
It was black from the floor, from the dance floor, from everything was just completely black, murdered out. And that's why the lighting looks so good, all overhead, hanging trussing. Yeah. So I showed them how we could do the same. So what we did is we flew 10-foot truss and threw wash lights above the crowd. So basically, with standing a light upright, we were able to get an extra solid foot out of that. So about 11 feet is where we stood. So it was over everyone's head. And then we put pin spots everywhere on centerpieces. The centerpieces were actually pretty amazing.
They were
cool. Were bubbles.
They were super cool.
They were clear balloons and different shapes and sizes, and it looked like bubbles. So the whole room looked like it was underwater. Up lights everywhere. It was definitely a production, and they loved it. And it came out perfectly. We got to use some wireless dongles, which we never use.
Tried out some new stuff.
Tried out some new stuff. We have some stuff that we were given to try out, and I think it was awesome that we were able to not have to run cables around that massive room at the Pelican, because I was not looking forward to running wires everywhere. But we were able to run multiple truss and put everything together all wirelessly. I kind of love me some wireless now. I
don't think that we'll do another event where we're having to run DMX cables all over the room. And in that room, the Pelican Club ballroom is at least 150, 200 feet.
It's huge.
It's a long room.
It is wide. Yeah. It is wide. Yeah. And I love the room. I love when they partition in and we get to reset the room and stuff like that. But when you was 250 people in that room, and it's a big venue. They can hold a lot of people. The patio looked cool. Everything was outside. I mean, it's a perfect underwater theme location. Oh, yeah. You have the lighthouse in the background. You have the boats, passing by, and then the inside, it just looked like you were in the water with the fading colors. You did an amazing job on that. Thanks, I don't know how to DMX. You know how to DMX. So
I have learned YouTube University, not only for just this podcast, but I have learned probably if I had to pay for college to learn everything that I learned from YouTube University,
you'd be like me in debt.
I would be like you and in debt and have a student loan that I just couldn't I couldn't justify. But I have learned it all from YouTube, and also, I mean, we had Sal, who is the lighting king in every venue that you've ever been in West Palm. He's done the lighting, whether it be programming the lighting or installing and designing the system. I had him early on teach me everything that I know now about DMXing and programming lights. And thank God, because what we were able to accomplish when we had 3 hours on Saturday, I probably wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't learned what I did from him.
Yeah, lighting has never been my thing, and I've always said I'm never going to turn into a lighting company. I think both of us have said that. We are not a lighting company. We are DJs. And we have minimal production. I got some uplights. I can give you. And now we are full throttle lighting. From we're doing bistro lighting all of a sudden, and now we're doing pipe and drape everywhere. I have so many. I don't even know. I don't have room right now in my garage.
Neither of us
for the amount of speakers and rotating heads and line arrays, and to be able to even offer that large of a sound system. I mean, we have full line array concert system, LED walls. We have so much now that we can provide anybody. So the biggest thing is now we're coming up to wedding season.
Yeah.
And I know we're both busy. How does your calendar look?
I have a few Saturdays open for next year, but they're going quick, and I get as many inquiries as I do bookings. So even as I'm getting dates and seeing dates that are still open, I'm having to tell brides no.
Do you have a favorite venue?
Damn, that's a good question. Do I have a favorite venue?
Loaded question.
Now, 8 months ago, I would have said one venue because my wife was working there at the time. But I honestly, and I'm gonna put a caveat on this. It's only when the weather is cool. I love Lady Jean Ranch.
Okay.
I do.
Love me some Lady Jean.
We've done that venue so many times, and the owners are they're angels. They're incredible to work with. They accommodate us anything we ask for. But we've done that venue so many times that we could walk in there and just get it done in an hour.
Man, I set up and ready to go. I don't care how big the setup is. It is such an easy setup. Just reverse to the barn. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And now everything's wireless.
Yeah.
Our speakers are wireless. Microphones are wireless. No, everything's powered.
But the exception is in I think it's smart that they close for the summer. When it is hot outside, it is miserable because it's a barn. There's no insulation. The AC is minimal, and you're going to sweat. But in the cool weather, it's perfect.
It's an amazing venue.
It is.
It's an amazing venue.
What about you? What's your favorite?
See, I'm torn by the look.
Okay.
You know what I love to play? I love playing downtown on the glass building. I love the pavilion.
Oh, I did too.
I love the pavilion. I love the fact you can bring all your own vendors.
Yeah.
I like you can bring your own wedding planner, your own chairs, your own caterers.
Yeah.
There's no limited. So you're not dealing with a place that says you can only use our vendors. You can only use our vendors on our list. I hate that. Even though we're on most lists.
I was just gonna say I think we kind of like that better. Because use us.
They use us.
Yeah.
As a favorite venue for me is going to be Lake Pavilion.
That's a good one. Just
because, like I said, you can bring outside vendors. And there's never a no. So Angela, which is a great contact for me for all the events for 4th on Flagler and everything else, that she gives me all those opportunities. I did my very first gig with her, my very first wedding, I think, with her at her hotel. I mean, you're talking about 20 years ago, maybe. Ooh, we're dating right now. We're dating us. But she gave me a chance. I used to leave equipment there. I did every wedding at that venue. That hotel has since been condemned, I think. It's the one right off, just over the bridge, or just before the bridge, going into Lantana, right there on the right-hand side. It was that beautiful hotel. I just can't think of it.
The Key Lime House?
Yes. So just past that to the right.
Gone.
The hotel that used to be there. It's like a scary hotel now. They used to think it's haunted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what it's called. It's going to come to me. But that venue was probably my first wedding venue with her. And, now that she's with the city, we're fortunate enough because she's worked with me so long that, we're able to do things like 4th on Flagler. I've been doing that for years.
I mean, I remember she gave us a block party on Clematis. Yeah. We did that. You just did somebody in her family's wedding.
I did. Her daughter.
Her daughter's wedding. I mean, it's connections and relationships like that we've built. Just the same way that I can talk so highly of the owners of Lady Jean Ranch, where a lot of the times with the venues, we don't get to see owners. We're talking hotels and ballrooms at hotels or specific venues like the Pelican Club.
Yep.
They're owned by big companies and big groups like that. But when you have connections and relationships with people like Angela, these are years and years of just communicating and keeping that relationship going.
Of course.
So that we can continue to have these great stories about venues like this.
I guess, what do you have for upcoming season now? We have some big things coming up.
Upcoming for September, we've got a few things going on, a lot of private stuff and things to keep us busy. But the bulk of our big events start happening October, November, December.
I slacked this whole summer.
I know.
I did not post a single picture of the 20 events we did. I didn't post a single picture on my webpage for anything we did this summer. We were thankfully busy in the real estate industry. I feel like this summer, with things tapering off and kind of the market kind of settling down, we were able to get a lot more business done in real estate.
Yeah.
So when I did do events, it was almost secondary, if you want to say. Right. It's like summertime. We did the event and we did an amazing job there, but I didn't promote it enough, I feel like, to get us into the season. But I think I should just do a photo dump. I mean, I have so many photos and videos. I might just do a photo dump. Like, here's our summer.
Yeah,
and just
I mean,
dump
you
it.
might as well. When it comes to Instagram, you can obviously post multiple posts and catch up, and nobody's going to know the difference now, especially because timelines they don't go chronologically. Now they're just kind of whenever Instagram thinks that it's important for somebody to see, they put it up there.
I guess,
And everybody's
But
happy.
There's so many companies that repost old events
Oh, man.
to make themselves look busy. Don't, guys, stop.
No.
Let's not do that anymore. We already know we posted that 5 other times.
That's right.
Just be relative.
We've
Just
seen
say,
that
hey,
picture.
we've seen that picture. But we are going to highlight some things. I do need to work on my social media. I am the
you and I
worst
both.
at social media. I still rock Facebook. Facebook's still my thing. It's like I'm like maxed out on Facebook friends. I'm like, yes, but we delete enough people sometimes too. I think I'm cool because of that. But then on Instagram, I have like 2,200 friends.
I still haven't, and you make fun of me all the time. I'm great with Instagram. I'm great with Facebook. I will read Twitter at 10 o'clock at night if my wife went to bed and I've got nothing else to do, but I have not downloaded TikTok.
And I think you're one of the only people I know that don't have TikTok.
I'm holding out.
The TikTok holes that I get into,
See?
I feel like you're in a coma. You're just sitting with your phone. You're like, swipe. One day I looked at my old phone and there was the screen. There was just a mark that's like literally embedded in the glass from just swiping your finger. And no matter how many times I tried to like clean it, it never came clean. That's how I know. I think it was just the glass got embedded with my thumb. So I've been trying to do a better job not sitting in TikTok holes. I did catch Eden got social media for the first time this year.
My God.
She's 15 and we finally gave her social media. I've tried to keep the kids away from social media as much as I could. Yeah. It was a thing for me. I didn't really have social media growing up, right? We didn't really have it. It didn't exist. And we came out just fine, just doing dumb shit outside.
Yeah, of course.
Jumping bike ramps and doing crazy stuff, being outside. So we try to instill that in with the kids. But the older Eden got, the more she was like, my friends have social media. My friends have this. And I hate to say we're keeping up with the Joneses. So at the end of the day, we ended up letting Eden get Instagram. And she has TikTok. She asked for Snapchat. I put a big hell no
absolutely
for that.
not. Sophia asked for it too. I was like, there's nothing you need to do with Snapchat that you can't do just texting your friends. What you never need to do is have a message disappear after you send it.
Yeah, that's a big no
Not
in my
happening.
house. That's a big no. That's a sore subject because she's like, Dad, I want social media. I want Snapchat. No.
Do you check her phone?
No, that is not my department.
Wife does.
Wife does.
Okay.
What she has, so her TikTok was Leticia's old TikTok.
Okay.
So all the messages, everything still goes through. So we still have access to all of it. We have passwords to everything. Passwords to the phones if we need them. I can put all the filters I want on it. It's all on my account. It's all on Daddy's account. But I stay in my lane when it comes to parenting and it comes to the girl topics and stuff like that. I kind of stay in my lane. Having 2 girls and now a female dog in the house. I'm outnumbered. Boy, I am outnumbered in my house. So I stay in my lane for certain things, but I let her parent be that parent. We have a great understanding with that. And if she says no, and then the kids come and ask me, they know I follow suit. It's a big no. But parenting has been a thing. It's now with 2 kids that are of age, her driving now is crazy. That's scary.
I don't go through Sophia's phone. I also don't question what she's doing though. And we as parents have to hope that everything that we did before they got that phone or before they got that Instagram account, everything that we did kind of put them in the right direction. I have to hope that I had the talks with her so that she can just be just a good person and come to me if she ever had any questions about anything.
I never want to restrict. I want to feel like we're going to check people's stuff.
Yeah.
Are we able to? Yes.
Right.
Am I reading text messages? Should Leticia reading text messages? No, we're not there. You know what I mean? You said, we hope we trust enough. My parents didn't do it to me. I bought my own phone.
Oh, my mom went through all of my stuff when she could.
No.
Are you kidding me?
I bought my own phone. Julian went to AT&T with me and co-signed my first phone because he looked 40.
He does.
Julian was in high school, looked 40. So he co-signed my first phone for me. Then I did it for Alex. We've all done it for each other, which was kind of funny. That came right around. But when I got my first phone, like I said, it was Julian. So my mom was like trying to look at my phone. I was like, I pay for this.
Yeah.
My phone. Now my kids can't say that to me. because it'd be a different outcome.
Oh yeah, of course.
But no, we definitely try not to filter too much from them. But at the end of the day, it's hard because there's the crap on TV and the crap on social media, I think, destroys kids. It gives them self-conscious and having to look a certain way. And I never want my kids to feel like they need to look a certain way, like the Instagram models and the TikTok girls and all this. I don't want my kids to think they need to be like that in order to thrive.
Agreed. But you're right. And what they're seeing on social media right now is tough. And not being able to, I mean, when they're walking across the street, you held their hand as they were younger, and we can't hold their hand for the rest of their lives. But we know what we've seen in the nightclubs, we've seen in the social media, and it's those talks with them like,
hey, the catch-22 with mine, because here I am DJing at some of the biggest venues. You think I don't want to post bottles and partying and pictures? I can't.
Your kids are also in private school too, so you definitely can't do that.
Definitely can't. But not only that, some things I do try to filter until my kids are a little older. I mean, they kind of understand now that where I'm at and where I do and who I play for. But I think as a dad, I have to limit some of that. I want to filter some of that still. But Eden's a sophomore. When I was a sophomore, I was doing a lot of things I shouldn't have done. And to think about it, I'm like, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I was partying. I was out. Yeah. We were out as sophomores. I was drinking probably already. Who knows? I mean, we were just doing dumb shit in high school.
Michaela, my oldest, she's a freshman in college. She is 18. She is 3 years away from being able to go into a nightclub. And you can be damn sure that I am still friends with as many DJs that are playing nightclubs as I can, so that they know who she is.
Who did I call the other day?
God forbid she ever shows up, they're going to call me. They're going to tell me.
I called Matt Black the other day.
Yeah, see? Oh,
Eden Country Nights. Yeah.
This is a great story.
So Eden's like, yo, I want to go to a country nights. And I'm like, country, where you want to go? What's it's
Renegades.
Called? Renegades. Yeah. That's right, Renegades. So she didn't have an ID. She was still 14. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to get in? Because you don't have an identification. Our school doesn't provide student IDs. Right. So nothing with her eye picture or the school or anything else. So we had to call like everybody. How can she get in? So I ended up having to call the DJs and call Matt Black and call everybody and be like, yo, help me. Which called, the owners, which called everyone and made sure when she got in, made sure she was watched and made sure she got in easy. So it's funny that we're calling people to get our kids into venues. It was a teen night, but it's still kind of funny. It was still kind of funny. I was calling. You got
your daughter on the guest list.
I got my daughter on the guest list at 14. I don't know if that was a good parent situation or a bad parent situation, but
of all places that I would want her to go, I would want it to be Renegades.
Renegades, all right.
Now, no offense, Lewis, my daughter's never going to Banco. It's just not going to happen. No. Not going to happen.
I see my friends' kids at Banco. Oh, my God. They're in college, in all fairness, but then I look at them and I'm like,
one of us shouldn't be here.
One of us shouldn't be
here.
One
of us shouldn't be here.
And definitely not me. I'm allowed in here.
I got a table. I got bottles.
What are you talking about?
I'm fine.
I'm good. You shouldn't be in here. So we avoid certain places when my wife and I go out. We avoid certain places not to run in because I know where their kids are at. We actually text the parents. Do you know where your kid is at tonight? Yeah, she's at Clematis Social. Great. Cool. We're going to go somewhere else. We're not. Roxy's is opening up.
I cannot wait to see that pool finished. I can't wait.
So excited about the
pool. I know the music director.
I don't know. It's an unknown source. It might be someone we know.
Just saying.
It might be someone we know.
I got new pool shorts. I'm ready.
I am ready for some pool parties. As soon as we get the clearance on the vibe, what we want to take the music in that place is going to be an amazing.
The money he spent.
The sound's going to be amazing. Oh my God. The pool's going to be awesome.
Oh my God.
It's just. I hope it just brings an older crowd, more sophisticated crowd downtown. I know the Bend kind of has already something like it, but they're a little different. It's a hotel.
Yeah.
This is a dedicated venue that is just going to be a beautiful upscale party. It's something new for West Palm, something new to do. And I think it's going to bring a lot of money downtown. I think it's going to bring a great crowd.
I agree. And I'm curious to see if they're going to do kind of like a separation on it where they don't open the pool side, but they will open the other side. And have it kind of like an either or. I mean, obviously nobody's going to swim in the pool at 2 a.m. So I would imagine he's going to come up with some kind of a thing where he can have a party up there still and not have the pool open or things like that. We're going to get the crazy stories of people jumping in the pool at 3:30 in the morning. it's going to happen. But
I've seen the drawings.
Awesome.
I've seen the drawings since the first day.
Oh, God.
And before I even knew it was a concept, we saw the drawings, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
The idea behind this is amazing. So now to see it finishing, when we were at Banco, looking across the way and seeing the building almost done, hopefully completed in the next couple months, and we get to enjoy the venue. I'm really looking forward to it.
This is the newest thing in downtown West Palm right now too, because what was the last nightclub that opened? I mean, we've got 4 that opened. That was it's a portion of 123 Datura.
Yep.
Kind of was always there, but
4 is awesome. It's a vibe.
Great, but all the other clubs have been there for years. Clematis Social was Pawn Shop, was Dr.
I played there when it was Monkey Club.
Was Monkey Clubs. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's the same club. Monarchy is gone. Rest in peace, Monarchy. Banco is still Banco, and it just looks the same as it did when it first opened, and that's fine too. But
it works.
There's no new venues opening up over here.
No, you have the Speakeasy as well.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
Speakeasy,
right.
Myers above, Myers downstairs did expand.
Yeah.
So they're bigger. I think they were having some issues with licensing or sound or something.
The layout of that space.
The layout of the space is a little weird. One day I see the DJ here, one day I see the DJ over here. It's like, which side are we on, guys?
Right.
Then the upstairs Speakeasy was awesome. We did a Christmas party up there, and it was amazing. It is a vibe in itself up there. So that's really nice. But yeah, we need something new. Needs a facelift when it comes to a nightclub, and I think Roxy's pool party is gonna be off the charts. Did you hear the pizza place is moving?
What pizza place?
Nino's.
Moving where?
He's moving the location from the corner. I'm telling you, I heard this. I heard it.
This is breaking news.
I heard this from the grapevine. That he is moving to a couple doors down. He's moving the pizza shop somewhere else. That building is being turned into either residential or something. It's something completely different. So my pizza place that I've been to since the very first nightclub I ever played down there. I mean, from 109, Czar Bar, all that thing has been a staple in that corner. He is moving locations from what I understand.
This is heartbreaking.
It's just mind blowing. But I know again, third party hearing that this is being moved. I don't know if this is exclusive or not, but I heard it's moving.
We may have to go out on the road, on site, go knock on the door, talk to Nico. Nico,
where
are you
is
moving?
This pizza place going?
What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know how public it. I don't know where it's going, but the pizza place I heard is moving. Is the pizza place still for sale?
Pizza Girls. I don't know. That was further down next to Sloan's, and I don't know that made any sense. Even after I looked at what they were asking for that property,
I thought we were going to open a pizza shop.
We talked about it. We looked at the numbers. It got real serious.
Sent me a text message and goes, "You know how many pizzas we have to sell a day to own this thing?" And I'm like, "How much?" And we did the numbers. I can tell you, the things that we crunch numbers on. Is this worthwhile? Jesus. And we thought we were going to own a pizza place. It would have been Bad Pizza Company.
I actually like the idea.
I like the idea. Pizza's my favorite thing.
All right, let's wrap this up so I can go see if that's still up for sale. That pizza shop
pizza shop's still for sale.
This might be a thing. Let's go.
It's been a great broadcast. Number 2. Wrapping this up on our second broadcast.
Felt more comfortable.
Hopefully, we're a little more lively this time.
I think so. 10% more.
10% more. I felt like I was more engaged. My foot's asleep. I haven't moved. I'm afraid to knock over some cameras or knock over something in here. I can't feel my leg. It's awesome.
Well, we'll wrap it up here. We'll go ahead and put a pin in it now. We'll see you next week. This is episode 2, and listen, we're gonna do the stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put a comment in the box, give me a thumbs up. Follow us on Instagram at Residential Remix. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Residential Remix. Follow him at the DJ Reflex. Follow me at Striker the Realtor. That's Striker with a Y because that's how it's pronounced. And hey, we'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week, guys.